evening, ladies and gentlemen, and other folks. Welcome to ZSR4 and welcome to the ALttPR Randomizer Crosskeys Tournament 2022. We've been on a roll this weekend. So many matches from the first round, and today is no exception. We have ganonsgonewild against Swedisharcticfox, and what could be better? Like, seriously, what could be better than wonderful commentary for this from both Megawatt and Wallkicks? Folks, it's all yours. Take it away.
Hello, everybody. Trez, thank you for such the wonderful introduction. I really appreciate it. Yeah, this is Crosskeys Week 1 Swiss of the tournament. Something about those words probably weren't in the correct order, but who cares? Hi, I'm Wallkicks. Megawatt, hello. How are you today?
Hello, Wallkicks. I'm doing wonderful, thank you. And how about you?
I am doing fantastic because, as mentioned, we have two fantastic runners here, Swedisharcticfox and ganonsgonewild, who I will now refer to as GGW the rest of the way. Crosskeys, we have a lot of entrances shuffle, we have a lot of keys shuffle, we have to get 7 crystals and maybe defeat Agatu depending on where Ganon is, or if just there's something behind Agatu in general.
It's definitely nice to be back around to the Crosskeys Tournament again this year. These two runners, both very skilled, and I believe we've got some statistics to go over as well that ZSR has very gracefully provided us.
Yeah, we do. These two runners don't really play each other a lot. This is actually their first 1v1 period. And they've only actually been in 4 races together combined in a bigger setting, maybe in a main tournament qualifier or past qualifiers. And GGW has come out ahead of Swedisharcticfox in every single one of those races. So you might say GGW is a little bit of a favorite, but when it comes to Crosskeys, that doesn't really mean anything. With the major variety that you get going from place to place, entrance to entrance, really anyone can win.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a very high volatility mode, and it doesn't really take much. Well, it takes a really big difference in the skill gap just to sort of make a match one-sided in this mode, I think.
Right, and
it looks like we're off to the races here. GGW going for, in my opinion, a more traditional opener. It looks like just going straight from Link's house to a hula hand setup over. Whereas Swedisharcticfox gonna be going straight up to the castle.
Yeah, a little surprised with the bombs that you get at Link's house. GGW didn't just immediately check the Light World Hype Cave entrance, because that's usually something that you can do pretty quickly before you do this hula hand start. I did see on Swedisharcticfox's side that we had the upgrade ferry at Hyrule Castle Main, so had some money, we'd be able to actually easily get some bombs or arrows.
Oh, not quite, but we do have a little bit of cash on the tree pole, so he might opt to pick up a little bit more of that on his way out and then buy some bombs.
Yeah, I would.
He's got 100.
Oh, just kidding.
But we do have Ganon in the Uncle drop-down, which is very accessible this seed. Typically like to see Ganon in places that reduce volatility, such as in its vanilla location, just because it makes it a lot nicer to not really have to think too hard about climbing GT, because you're going to have to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. But not this time. This time we're going to have to figure out if we're going to make that climb. Looks like GW is going to go inside and pick up whatever this was. Ooh, this is the well. I did not see that.
And also on Swedish side, we have Sanctuary leading out to Kakariko, and even to the well entrance as well, which means we're going to be able to crack open the back of Escape here. Getting a lot of money out of the well, so it's just completely making the hula hand pointless at this point. GGW recognizing that and saving quitting.
Yeah, as I say, I don't think GW minds that at all. Had a couple small keys. Meyer in Sanctuary. I believe GW picked up a pod key in the well.
Looks like it. Yeah, this Sanctuary location is very nice. Probably one of the better ones in my opinion, just because Kakariko is so entrance dense, and you're so likely to find multiple different connectors here that not having to hike all the way back to Kakariko from Link's house or some other unsavory Sanctuary location makes the early game a lot nicer, especially when you end up with a lot of connectors you want to follow.
Yeah, like the ones we're seeing already. Say, I know Swedisharcticfox has found both Super Bunny Cave and Paradox Cave in the span of 3 entrances.
And we're also going to go use our knowledge of the Paradox Cave layout and go pick up some bombs from the shop here.
Very smart of Swedisharcticfox. Doesn't have enough money for the bottle vendor yet, though, so it's something to keep an eye on for a little bit. Although with the save and quit point being at Sanctuary, I don't think either runner minds too much.
Yeah. GGW actually taking a save and quit out of the back of Escape to head over to, it looks like, the Lake Hylia area and possibly also onto the eastern area afterwards.
Yeah, a little surprised by that, given the knowledge that you have Kakariko fully available. Swedisharcticfox in Paradox did pick up a hammer, so we do have a nice early weapon on Swedisharcticfox's side, along with a big key to Skull Woods.
It looks like just junk on the Hylia Island as well on GGW's side. Okay, he's not staying for long. He's not going.
Taking another save and quit, I'm a little surprised about that. Like, we're not even 4 minutes in, and we've done a number of save and quits already. That's I don't know if that's bad per se.
Yeah.
But I feel like you want to try to, in the beginning, maybe limit some of your save and quits if you don't have to.
Mm-hmm. It's not as if they're slow per se, but if you do it several times, it does kind of add up. Yeah.
Do see that Swedisharcticfox is over and the eastern area. Man, I need to come up with a shorter name for Swedisharcticfox.
How about SAF to stay in line with GGW?
SAF versus GGW. You know what? I'm okay with that. I like that a lot.
Yeah, it looks like the bottom of Paradox Cave led him out to the cave in front of the eastern area.
Yeah, that's
a really nice way to pick off this part of the map.
And GGW is going to take advantage of the money that he does have and pick up those bombs. So I kind of like that. So on an early start to a Crosskey seed, what are like some of the things you kind of look out for, Megawatt?
I mean, connectors are obviously probably the biggest thing to consider. Mm-hmm. Ordinarily, I honestly think the things I look out for in the start of a Crosskey seed change a lot depending on where Sanctuary is located. We got a very fortunate location for it this time, but like a lot of the time when you have it in a place that makes Kakariko a lot less savory travel to, I'm just trying to like sweep through the area, and even if it's a little inefficient, I have to maybe walk past some entrances that are locked up the glove or whatever. Then I still would prioritize not following any connectors in case you get locked out and forced to walk back. Whereas in a seed like this, with Sanctuary being right here, I am a lot more gung-ho about following connectors, trying to find Death Mountain early, trying to get my potentially my third save and quit point in the Old Man. And that's actually, if I can interrupt myself for a moment, we just found a mirror in Super Money Cave on SAF's side.
We did.
That was it in the eastern entrance or the?
He found it at the Flute Spot 5 cave, but the other side of Super Money Cave is actually just in Kakariko.
Ah, okay.
So it's actually not bad for either GGW nor SAF. I mean, SAF of course already has it, but he was, it's not going to be bad for GGW to go get to. We are going to see this one check-in pod that we didn't see from SAF earlier. GGW also did find GT. Hasn't picked up the hammer yet, so can't, sequence break the Stalfos room. But something that SAF could do, although the bomb jump is a little tricky without like a sword to kind of stop you from immediately falling down.
Yeah, and especially since you have to do it twice. And on 3 hearts, no less. There's not a lot of room for error with this equipment.
Yeah. We do see another small key to Skull Woods.
But I will say, back to your question earlier, I think with that mirror, I think your game plan suddenly changes a bit, especially in this situation, with CAC being as accessible as it. I kind of, when I find an early mirror like this, I kind of want to just follow every connector I come across.
It's very true, because I mean, even if you pop out in the Dark World, you've got the mirror to kind of, if you can get to like Cave 45 or say like where the race game usually is, I mean, that could be logically how you get your Moon Pearl. So yeah, I agree with the early mirror and the free start to Kakariko. Yeah, I think you're flying through your connectors if possible. One thing to mention that GGW has that SAF doesn't is that he picked up the Ice Big Key when he was doing his start over at the Witch's Sub, which was Ice Rock Cave.
And he's also got that pod small key, which he might be putting to use here in a couple minutes once he works his way over to the pod entrance.
Yeah, that's true.
And get a couple extra checks on SAF. Maybe even a couple more if he decides to mimic clip the right side.
Do you know if GGW mimic clips?
I'm not 100% sure if he does.
Okay. It looks like GGW is kind of parsing out Kakariko a little bit. Like, he hasn't really gone up to the north, to the three north houses, the Blind's Hut and the old lady's house. I don't remember what it's formally called, but I kind of do this sometimes if I maybe don't have a glove and like my Cackwell is or my escape is over at Cackwell. I'll kind of do the south Kakariko and then save and quit and kind of work my way north from there.
Yeah, I tend to do the same kind of thing where I leave specifically those 3 entrances at the very top of Kakariko.
Yeah.
When Sanctuary is right where it is. See a big key of some kind on the GT Torch and a small key over at the race game. So, going to be looking for the boots for that big key. And looks like that mirror might be relevant for maybe something if we can find access to the Dark World.
I'm glad you spotted that small key because like I saw the key on the big key on Torch, but I did not have an opportunity to see what was on the race game. So good on there. Looks like SAF tried the bomb jump, did not quite get it, so I'm just gonna come back later. Very reasonable.
Yeah, definitely not the easiest thing to pull off on this low equipment right now. But thankfully, GG's pretty easy to get back to later, so upon finding the hook shot, I doubt they're going to put it off for too long. We got GGW's pod play already. This is already something we should pay pretty close attention to see what SAF is going to miss out on for a little bit, at least until he makes his way over to the well.
Or maybe just finds another pod key. There are 6 of them. GW looks like setting up a death roll.
That is true. Based on the way he's routing this too, I think GGW is going to, once he finishes up here, head up to the north light world into Lost Woods and all that.
I'd be curious to see if he isn't interested in checking out one of the Paradox entrances when he finds it in the next entrance.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's going to be coming up right next for him.
Yeah,
I could definitely see him going for that. It'd work out pretty well for him if he followed the same one that SAF did, because it dumped him out right where he left off over at the east side of the map.
Yeah, it would be some nice little early routing for him, and it would allow him to pick up his mirror. But yeah, didn't see anything of value in that first check that we saw, and just a heart piece here, so nothing of significant value here in the 2 logical checks that we have in pod. It doesn't look like he's going to be doing any mimic clipping for now.
SAF kind of finishing up his Kakariko route. Interested to see where he's going from here, since he's already taken care of those other entrances in Kakariko. So yeah, it looks like his plan is probably going to be either the Lake Hylia entrances, which he did not get to earlier because of how he found his way to the eastern area, and then also South Shore. But I definitely agree with doing the first he is right now.
Yeah.
Without the glove.
Yeah, because at this point when it comes to your entrances, ooh, there's a connector. Did I miss that connector?
Yeah, that was GGW poked his head in there.
Huh.
Earlier.
I'm surprised I didn't see that. But that might be a connector that SAF checks pretty quickly. GW is getting a little bully.
Using bombs instead of hammer for some reason.
Trying to hammer a mini Moldorm can be a little bit dangerous.
It can be.
Not that using bombs isn't also just as dangerous sometimes, but so GGW is going to check the other side of Paradox that we didn't see from SAF, so could be routed away from his mirror for a little bit, depending on where this takes you.
Yeah, that's not exactly the ideal spot.
No.
It is. It does have some value later on, or when our runners want to get back to the Northwest Dark World, because that's a really strong place to have access to in the Dark World, because you can get basically everywhere else from it.
Right, and SAF finding the Laser Bridge entrance was able to mirror, and we're going to be able to do some east of the mountain checks.
run a TR here as well. Not much to do, but it's a nice free magic refill. Oh, and well, I said not much to do, but there's Arcana Samaria.
I was like, I'm sure SAF wishes he had that Cane of Samaria for that check just a moment ago.
Well, we don't even know if GGW is going to have his mirror by the time he makes his way over to that connector, so it might balance out.
That's true. There was half magic there on the library, but again, no boots. Not a whole lot we can do with that.
Oh, and
there's
that
a
looks like
rod
an
of
ice
some
rod.
kind. Was that an ice rod? I didn't see.
I think
full color.
based on the coloring on the handle, it's the ice rod. There's a
Are they
slight
actually
difference.
different colors?
There's a slight difference.
I did not know that.
The fire rod is more pale, and the ice rod is like a little yellowish.
Huh. I learned.
We got the other end of Turtle Rock here, also on the base of East Duff Mountain for SAF. This is going to be a lot more lucrative than the front right now.
I mean, still without the Cane of Samaria though, so
Yes.
you're going to be missing a couple of things.
Nice bow as
That bow
well.
though was good.
Having a little bit of trouble with laser skips. Not the easiest thing in the world unless your name is Wall Kicks. So, understandable.
You got to learn the stutter step. Like people usually are much more proficient at this when they have boots. I'm terrible at laser skips with boots. I don't know how you people do it. I'll just let go of the stick real quick and then just start going right back, and it's easy.
We got a magic bat located at the lumberjack tree today.
That is.
Love to see it.
I was like, that genuinely might be the worst thing that you can put behind Aga 1.
Yeah, because like the well, it's 5 items, but at least that's enough to sort of justify doing it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like Lost Woods and Lumberjack, you can at least scout those.
Yep.
But Magic Bat's
you
neither.
just need to do it.
Exactly. I also got a shovel off of Laser Bridge, which SAF is going to check out right away. Interesting to see if this turns out. Fortunately not. But we also have GGW on the left side. Even without a glove, very heads-up play, making his way down to check the drop-down, because he still hadn't found the uncle yet.
Yeah, that's always when you're unsure about, like, when you know you have the uncle still out there, even if you don't have a glove, you kind of want to come in this direction anyways.
Oh yeah. I have definitely last located progression here and been very confused by it in the past. So, until I realized, oh.
With this bow, SAF is going to check out the bowlock side. Still has not picked up his pod small key, which we know isn't worth it right now. But,
He is actually going to be able to pick up those 2 chests, though, because he has the hammer.
Because he has the hammer, that's right, yeah.
So he's actually going to be just fine without that pod small key for now. And might even get something extra out of this.
The bow isn't in logic right now, because I'm pretty sure Crosskeys logic still technically requires an invincibility item or the mirror shield in order to do laser bridge.
I believe you are correct, yes.
So, the bow still is not of significant value to, well, it's of significant value, but it's not of significant value to the logic currently.
Mm-hmm. It looks like GGW is making his way over to the eastern area, so gonna see the other end Paradox Cave and also get his mirror. So that's gonna be nice for him.
Yeah, the Paradox Cave is, finding this other end of Paradox Cave is good for him, because then now he knows he doesn't have to worry about like coming back to that ever.
Exactly.
And like you said, the mirror will just make routing so much easier. SAF finding the flippers on the bow lock side of pod.
I would be a little more worried for GW about those flippers if pod wasn't right next to the saving point.
Yeah. And I have to imagine once GW picks up the mirror, he's going to start looking at connectors.
He might actually just start thinking about like going straight back to Paradox Cave, follow back to the top.
Yeah, that's definitely reasonable. I mean, he also knows about the Fairy Ascension Cave connector that's over at the house near Lake Hylia, so that might also be something that's on his mind. Basically, kind of what you were alluding to earlier with early mirror and an easily accessible save and quit over to like the Kakariko area, you're kind of looking for mountain access at this point. And so, you're going to be probably much more interested in charting the connectors.
We have SAF getting his cane, making the North Light World play. Probably feeling a little unfortunate about the way he ordered things here.
Yep.
Not that I would blame him. I mean, you want to push off North Light World if you can until you get either boots or glove or both.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a little greedy to do so, but if you have other things that are just better to do, then why not do them, right?
Yeah.
In the hopes that you find them.
One thing that we saw that, depending on our item layout, could be of significant annoyance for our runners is the smith is all the way over at Eastern Palace.
Yeah, that's
that's not a good spot for the smith in Crosskeys.
Probably my least favorite location, honestly. Like, even with the flute, it's not great because you still have to walk all the way up there.
Yeah. Like with the flute, it's slightly more manageable, but not a whole lot. GW.
What does GW have in mind?
He's heading to GT. I think he wants to try to sequence break Stalfo's room. Oh no,
he's also got the cane, so he has tile room here as well.
Oh baby. Who doesn't love a good tile room 20 minutes into the seed?
Another thing I'm curious about is if SAF might decide to come back to that Spectacle Rock Cave connector and follow it once he's done here.
He might even do it before trying to see it, not knowing that Uncle is just sitting at the sanctuary drop down. Like, that's a long walk at this point.
Yeah.
But he also hasn't done the well, so at this point you're kind of deciding, do I want to take this? Do I want to take that connector, or do I want to take this all the way over to to the Witch's Hut house? And SAF's gonna steal the small key.
Oh,
that is wow.
That's a good find for GGW. Wow. That's kind of in a nasty spot for SAF, I want to say, even though GT is in Kakariko.
Right, it's
right
just
next to
at this
save and
point,
quit. It's kind of isolated.
Yeah, I'm gonna go all the way down there for logically one check. I mean, he didn't, he didn't get the bomb jump that GW is trying to get, so he might have a little bit more incentive later to try this.
Right.
GW got the first bomb jump. Now he's got to do the second one, which is just as hard. But it looks like
he's got it.
Yeah, it's like he set that up really nicely.
And looks like SAF did go for following the Spec Rock Cave connector, and it's going to take him to the top of the mountain, which is a very good spot to have knowledge of early on. It doesn't look like GW is going to get much out of this play.
Did get an ether medallion, but probably not going to be of any significant value currently. Well, that ether opens up Turtle Rock when we have access to it.
Yeah, just a couple of gloves away from that. No. And a sword, for that matter. Oh, we got Hype Cave, though. Oh, there's our sword. Unfortunate for SAF, going to have to leave behind the other 4 items there. He has not been to Tile Room yet. It looks like GGW is going to be heading towards West Dark World with his Pearl, though. Oh my goodness, the item cave is on DM.
Jesus. So this is a lucrative play for when GGW gets here. Because he'll have the Moon Pearl, so he'll be able to get everything out of Hype Cave, Mirror, do Blind Hut, and he has so many options at his disposal. Do you get a big key to Thieves Town in Blind Hut? Interesting.
Yeah, this does have a bit of the potential to snowball in GGW's favor once he makes his way up there. It's really going to depend on how long SAF waits to go back to GT. And if he doesn't find anything else to make it more appealing, like Fire Rod or Hookshot, then it might be a while, because at this point it's like a 30-second walk all the way down to GT for a 1 minute long tile room check. And that's it. Then you just save and quit, right?
Yeah. And SAF's going to take the hammer and the mirror and check over and go to west of the mountain. This is a super reasonable play. Like, in his mind, this is like, okay, this is probably where the Moon Pearl is going to show up. Unfortunately, we know that's not where it's going to show up.
like GGW's going to start on his... Oh, there's another sword.
Okay. 2 quick swords. 2 in logic swords, no less. Because talking to the Hype Cave NPC as a bunny is in logic.
And even if it wasn't, we do know where the Moon Pearl is currently. But even from SAF's point of view, these are in logic.
So I'm not going to acknowledge SAF for a couple minutes. I'm going to just focus on GGW.
Ignore the Eastern play. Look away. Pretend it doesn't
ignoring
exist.
the Eastern play. No, I mean it's fine. I maybe would have held off on this at least a little bit to maybe do the other mountain entrances to see maybe if I can pick up like an Eastern big key.
Yeah, it's not that there's nothing to gain from doing it right now. Like, obviously, if the Eastern big key doesn't show up on the rest of the mountain, then the fact that this is located in a drop down means that if you want to come back here, you're going to have to spend 30 seconds climbing back up the mountain. But if the Eastern big key does show up, then you're going to be feeling a little silly about your play.
It's not like the first 4 checks ever have anything ever in Eastern Palace.
And it looks like Skullwoods has got a pretty generous layout for us today, actually letting us go to the back without having to save and quit.
It's nice for GGW's sake. Although again, with the Sanctuary save and quit being at Kakariko, there's a lot. He's just dropping down. I don't know if I'm a big fan of this because of
he's got
this
2
exact
small
thing.
keys, so
Yeah, I guess it worked out.
And the big key even, so we're actually going to be able to do basically everything here, which is good and bad. Very bad if there's something in the entrance at the back of Skullwoods, because then that's just incredibly orphaned.
Mm-hmm.
But at the very least, you're going to be able to get everything but that. And it's fairly unlikely that that one particular entrance is going to be required. Just if it is, it's going to be very troublesome.
Nice bomb jumps. GW has done well to find them to get on like the right pixel for these bomb jumps without a sword. It's not easy to stop yourself short.
Definitely a lot trickier without a sword.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't look like we're going to see a lot. Oh, I might be wrong. Okay, yeah,
That's
not really great. It's okay to have, but it's not a game breaker or anything. So yeah, not really a whole lot out of Skullwoods here.
It's the slight peace of mind knowing that like when you do inevitably do Swamp Palace, because you inevitably are going to do Swamp Palace, that you're going to be able to do the big chest and not have to think, man, I'm going to have to come back for that.
Exactly, yeah. And at the very least, also, GW gets to do this completely free of any worry of having to like cut his route short here in the Dark World.
Not a whole lot in Eastern Palace.
Got our bomb shop here telling us Thieves and Turtle Rock are our 5-6 today. We do actually have knowledge of the Thieves Town Big Key on SAFs. I believe was somewhere. Was that in? I think that was in Blind's Hut.
That was in Blind's Hut, yeah. I did not see what that small key you just picked up was. I thought it might have been a TR small. Oh, it was a Meyer key. On SAF's side, he has all 3 Meyer keys and the big key, and the Cane of Samaria.
That is a pretty interesting collection of items he's got there. I wonder where Misery Meyer is located in this seat. Yeah, notably though, we don't really have a way in right now, or even a fire source to go and use those Meyer small keys for their logical intended purpose. But it's definitely something to make you waggle your eyebrows a bit.
Yeah, you're definitely looking at that thinking, there's likely something important over there on Firelocked Meyer.
GW really hesitating on whether he should follow that connector or not.
I'm a little surprised he's not. Oh, he has another one. Okay. I was gonna say, like, if he's cleared out the village, then I would take that connector in a heartbeat. Hello, Misery Meyer.
There it is. It's here. So, still missing a fire source and an actual way in, though. But at least we know where it is now. Another thing we're probably also going to see soon on SAF's side is once he saves the old man and finishes up on the mountain, probably going to be able to see where the old man's save and quit point is. Which might be very good for him if it ends up on like bumper ledge or something. That would put him
would be really nice, yeah.
Yeah, it'd put him in a really nice spot to like work his way down, mirror and pick up whatever's on the way in CAC that he can do now, which would probably be the best case for getting his pearl without getting any additional items. Meanwhile, on GGW's side, we see the connector from Outcast, the pod area where we found Aga Tower.
Just one check we can do here. No small key, and we know it is Magic Bat behind Aga 1. It's a book.
That will be very convenient once GGW finds his way up to the top of the mountain and picks up 2 very convenient swords.
Oh yeah,
for his tablet check.
2 swords are right there. Now here's the Galaxy Brain. Figure this out. You have the book. You see the Master Sword on top of Spec Rock. Do you go check the book, or do you go check Ether Tablet before picking up the sword?
To save time on not having to watch the animation. I think I would, honestly. It looks like on the SAF side, we found the dam located at the very base of West Dark Death Mountain, which either he's simply checking the light world entrance next to it before he dives in there, or just isn't really thinking about super bunnying his way in there.
Well, you would think SAF would have shown us our old man save and quit point first, but GGW finds it at pod.
That's a great location for your save and quit. Pod entrance.
That is a great location for when you pick up the smith.
Unironically, yeah, I was about to say that. Actually useful in this case because of the smith. I just kind of realized it as you were saying it, like, oh, actually, wait a minute.
SAF does have the Hyrule Castle small key, so what he's doing is in logic.
And GW getting spit out near the Ice Rod Cave area from back of Old Man.
Just kidding. The Hyrule Castle small key is not in logic because it was on Laser Bridge.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's never too far out of logic at any point. You gotta find a safety item.
Yeah. GW, you're just gonna go right back to the Dark World in that area.
Understandable, honestly. Does still have the entire southern. I'm not sure if this is any faster than simply. Well, I mean, I guess he would have had to backtrack all the way through the connector as well, in addition to walking out a pod area. So maybe this isn't too bad. If you're just aiming to South Dark World.
Oh yeah, I imagine this is probably the easier way here. SF looks like they're going to head over to Dark Cross, see if they can't sneak in this item. With this being a light world entrance, these rats will stay rats, the snakes, or ropes, excuse me, will stay ropes, and thus they don't do a whole lot of damage here.
We are going to see this small key here on the race game from GW.
Oh yeah, I forgot there was a small key here.
Which, if it ends up being the Swamp Small, then we're actually pretty close to doing everything we can in that dungeon. Like, between both runners, all we're missing is the hook shot. Because I think we've even found the entrance, although I don't remember exactly where that was.
That was at the bomb hut in Kakariko. But it's just GT. It's just a GT small, so.
Nothing too important.
I'm having a little bit of trouble locating this.
Oh, no, you love to see connectors here.
Yeah, that's a... Oh, that kind of sucks.
Coin flip. Are we gonna be walking out of a rock here? Oh, no, okay.
Alright.
We take those.
Yep.
You know what? The game's feeling merciful to GGW today. Not as much to SAF, who unfortunately, looks like he mirrored out without having picked up the item.
Looks Looks like SAF is not going to Super Bunny the dam, so we'll need to come back there once he picks up his Moon Pearl. Not much we can do there.
It's decent knowledge, though, if we end up not finding a way over to the mire area at some point.
In Chat, I don't believe G2W did dig game, unless it was really short.
Oh, yeah, I don't think we saw him do it. Yo, okay, he's going back. He heard. He heard us.
One of our Hyrule Castle entrance is taking us over to TR Bridge. So, a couple things to check here on SAF side.
Oh, the rabbit hole.
It begins.
Gotta love long connector chains. Especially when those connectors have multiple alternative exits. Oh, baby. TR middle, too.
At least this one, he's not going to get baited into, like, going somewhere else.
If he really wanted to, he could go all the way up to the top and pick up his compass chest. But that'd be, considering he already knows where the top is, that'd be kind of a waste of your small keys.
Yeah. I'm wondering if, because he stole the small key to desert, knowing that he has that desert entrance, if maybe he considers ending his route there.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe saves coming that desert small. We are attempting
we're gonna have to be very careful here.
Yeah, this is not easy to do.
GDW side, though, it looks like we found Spike Cave at Cave 45, and we also picked up one of our Castle Tower small on the dig game. Tiny bit closer now to being able to check magic, you know?
Hopefully for GGW, that's the only Castle Tower key he ever finds.
But SAF manages to make it through to the lava chest PR. Still going to be a bit low on health, so still has to be careful in Chomp's room.
That's an interesting thing, because that was the Cane of Burna, which is one of the 3 logical ways to have laser bridge accessibility. And that's locked by all 4 TR keys.
Yeah. For some reason, I'm thinking our cape might be the logical access to that bow. For some reason.
Just maybe.
Don't ask me why. Oh, no. That's a really rough spot to die.
Yeah.
He's going back in for it, though. So he won't be missing out on anything. He'll just be losing a little bit of time.
So yeah, this is a rough one to come back to because it takes 30-ish seconds to even get to. And he's in Oko mode again, basically.
Mm-hmm. That's not even to mention the possibility that you just get tilted. Because I know anytime I die in that spot, I get incredibly tilted.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think we've seen anything of significant value on GDW side in South Dark World. We have
really just a couple of small keys that might be useful.
I think we just have the dam left, or where Swamp Palace is.
Did GDW not check the Dark Hype Cave entrance?
I imagine he did.
Did he do that on his way past to the lake shop?
He probably did it on his way to Lake Shop. At least I hope he did. And we're just gonna mirror and check.
Right, this is a nice piece of routing for him, though, having not touched the South Light Roll at all. Combo all. Oh wow, that's a very easy spot for a glove. A little tricky because this is kind of a place you want to avoid without one, but that's going to work out super nicely for him.
Oh yeah,
he'll pick up,
and that's regular Dark World access too.
Yeah. So even if he did forget the Hype Cave entrance, it's not even a big deal as long as he remembers.
I don't think he forgot it. I think we're a little more focused on what SAF was doing. We do find a Mimic Cave here with the hammer. This is easily accessible.
Big key to Hera. It's a nice, almost Hera full clear we're looking at. We still do need a fire source, but that should hopefully come easily enough, right?
I would hope
they
so.
Always do, until they don't.
Alright, so SAF not finding anything of value on right side desert. A little concerned that we're not hard resetting.
Yeah, especially without the knowledge of Desert Palace Prize. Maybe he just wants to see where this goes before he hard resets, because he could still do that.
That's kind of what I'm hoping for. Man, we're in dangerous territory right now. This is.
I'm kind of surprised he isn't at least going to peek at the desert.
The issue is he's about to save. He's about to save and continue right here.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that desert small is gone. So.
Yep.
For his sake, hope he stumbles across it.
Yep.
If that ends up being a crystal, then that is going to cause some problem in the line. Meanwhile, finding Thieves' Town entrance behind a rock over by Desert Palace.
Yep. GW has not picked up the big key yet, though. So this will just be the 4 checks here.
Yeah, it might end up being a good thing, though. So you're not tempted to do this without the small key.
I do see a bottle on Desert Torch. Probably not going to be anything of consequence. There are 4 bottles out in the field.
Yeah. Oh, and that's a nice exit to find, too. Desert left leading to the top bumper cave, which, as I mentioned before, might be SAF's best shot.
Oh my god.
At getting his pearl.
This is a connector chain and a half that we've got going on.
But he's going back to the mire area? Or not? What are we doing here? Or play? Oh, just grabbing the heart piece.
GGW on the, by the way, finding our other end of Bumper Cave. So,
doing yet another wreck through Desert Palace here on the F side to get back here. This is a lot of walking. One thing I really dislike about Desert Palace and trying to use it as a connector and like trying to check all of its different exits when you're in there is like it takes so long. It's a lot bigger of a time sink than you might think it is on the surface.
GW Moonwild is going to take the book, and this will basically be the end of his route, which has really been a very nice route overall for GGW.
Yeah, he got put in some nice places by these connectors.
Mm-hmm.
And then finding the glove where he did was also super helpful.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see what we're going to see next from him, though. Because I still think he hasn't found the mountain in capacity, so he's probably still wanting to follow some connect.
I think that's.
But at the same time,
right now,
he's also got regular Dark World access. So,
mm-hmm. But I mean, he's cleared out a lot of regular Dark World at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Even just only 40 minutes in, like that loop that he took him all the way through Village of Outcasts. So he has all the village entrances checked off at this point. He has all of South Dark World checked out, and I don't know if he checked the cave in front of the pod area.
I don't think he did.
He doesn't have a whole lot to do, really, at this point in Dark World. So I think in his mind, he's like, this has to take me to the mountain somewhere.
The connector to Floating Island, what was that again? Let me.
That was Speck Rock, which was in the forest.
Yeah, that was at the very back of Lost Woods. That's right.
Yeah.
Which might not be the only way to access that, because there's going to be another connector there that shows up. So. In GGW's case, he's probably hoping that he finds another way there. Just jump down without checking.
He did, and he recognized it immediately.
Oh no! I don't think there was anything there, but
there wasn't. But that's
still a little tilting. He's gonna get to check this that SAF did not, though, as well as getting to check the Crystal Roller once he finds the Laser Bridge entrance. These are another GT key. It's what, 3 on GGW side?
Yeah. I only have 2 written down, but I wouldn't be surprised if, he found a 3rd one somewhere. Did find a connector to Hookshot Cave on West Desert, and the other end of it was East Desert. Good connectors.
These connectors have been pretty interesting in this seed.
Yeah. That was, like, SAF, unfortunately, like, he got hard, I don't want to say hard baited, but, like, That was a really long chain of connectors that honestly like sank a lot of time for him.
Yeah. He's also going to find his glove here and kind of be forced to turn around for the entrance he walked past.
Yeah, and he doesn't have his portal anymore, so he can't. I don't think he can go back in and mirror out and check checkerboard.
Mm-hmm.
So GW is going to pick up his bow here. Probably feel kind of good about that. He'll be able to take this cane over to Crystal Roller Room.
Or not?
I believe in you, GW. All right.
we remembered.
Meanwhile, on SAF side, he has seen Thieves Town, so he's going to be able to get the checks here. He also has the big key. No small key, though.
I think he's going to go for the back situation.
I think we clear it here, yeah.
Like, at this point, you're probably getting a little desperate to find something. Because, like, he's still looking for that pearl, unlike GGW. And he really doesn't have a lot of great options at this point. He's got a lot of entrances he can kind of walk back to with the glove now that have just been kind of orphans. He's got the Ice Rod Cave area, which I don't believe he's touched at all. Which is probably his only other really good play at the moment.
Yeah, I would agree. Everything else at this point is pretty nasty.
But if you're just going to go over to Ice Rod Cave, you only immediately come back here to Thief Town, then I think you cleared Thief's Town.
GW is going to take this all the way over to the two checks that we saw SAF do earlier. He does not have a TR key.
He's going to have to...
Where...
Guys out the hard way.
I don't know if he has enough magic for it.
Does have a hammer.
We do have a hammer, but
this is kind of a nasty time sink for this room.
Yeah, doesn't feel.
You don't even need it for the items either. You just want this if you're trying to walk out the left exit.
This head is just chasing GGW.
Canis Maria also not.
Oh my god!
Oh, that's a save and quit. Yeah.
And we talked about dying and chain chomps being tilting. I imagine that death right there also likely tilting.
I'm curious to see what he does next, because he did find his way to the base of East Death Mountain through that connector, but he actually has to go all the way back to Lost Woods if he wants to find his way to the whole rest of the mountain, at least from what we've seen so far.
Yeah.
And that's not exactly something that'd be on my radar for a little while. Or at least you'd want to try to find some alternative.
Yeah, I suspect we're going to finish checking, like we're going to go to the pyramid and do the entrances on the pyramid. Notably, without a sword or cape, not going to be able to check the vanilla Aga Tower entrance.
We're going to pick off the we left before the... What have we got? Nothing in the one in logic spots, though. Kind of unfortunate for SAF. He's not really getting a lot for the in-logic stuff he is doing. And which just makes it even harder to go back to GT, because you're not getting anything to make it more lucrative to go there.
Right. But he will get a crystal out of this. He doesn't know that it's a crystal, but we know from GW talking to the big bomb guy.
Oh, apparently SAF did get a out of logic pod small key from the app. So it's not nothing. It's going to be his second one. That might make pod a reasonably high priority thing on his list. Like, it's none of what he can do there right now is in logic.
Oh, this is
But-
nice for GGW. Except he's not
Oh, that is really
following
nice. I think he's thinking about catfish, which is really unfortunate because he really wants to follow that connector right now.
it, right? What was in here? Was this another connector? Oh, it was another connector.
Oh, was this the mountain? Oh, I think this is the mountain.
Oh,
Okay,
okay. This
so
is just the
he's-
mountain access. All right, never mind.
Ironically, this is a worse mountain access than what he would have had if he followed Spec Rock. But,
I mean, he's got Mirror Hammer, so he can still get to where he needs to go. Although he's not going to be able to do Height Cave. So yeah,
mhm.
you're right. This is worse for him. SAF's going to head over into Pod now with those 2 small keys.
Yeah. Like I was saying before, none of it's in logic, but if you're just looking for things to make the in logic stuff more attractive, this is a good one.
A little
Man, taking a little
surprised.
detour there.
I mean, SF, I think at this point knows that it's a 50-50 whether the well is behind Aga 2 or not. You know, I'd be tempted to want to see, like, okay, is it just the well that's sitting at?
Oh yeah, at the sanctuary spot. Because I don't think he ever went there, right?
I
say
don't
he
know if he
never
did
did.
Sanctuary, but he also, yeah, I don't know if he's done Sanctuary. He also obviously hasn't done Useless Fairy. That's such a terrible name to call Useless Fairy, but
Poor fairy.
poor Fairy. I agree.
She never did anything, and maybe that's the point. Oh, there's that other
Ooh.
castle tower small key
Ooh!
in the back of Pod. But we are still lacking boots and the powder, so probably still not going to be on anybody's mind for a long time.
So one of the unfortunate things for GGW about his little misplay when he mirrored from Laser Bridge exit and jumped down is that when he goes to East Death Mountain, he's going to have a choice to make.
Mm-hmm.
Just like he's proactively making the correct choice and not going into Eastern Palace.
Exactly.
But yeah, he's going to have to choose between whether or not he wants to jump down the middle again, or go to the left drop down.
It really does kind of suck, just because it's like the perfect opportunity being spit out at that one particular entrance with the mirror. You're like,
Mhm.
great, I've already got this taken care of, and now I can either find the connector to the Turtle Rock Bridge and be able to take care of everything, or at least once I'm over on the top of East Death Mountain, I can just take the other drop down and be completely covered. But now because of that, he is sort of stuck with the 50-50 again. So he is now checking West Dark Death Mountain with the Moon Pearl. So he's going to be able to pick up 2 items here over SAF. And one of those is the silvers, which is a pretty darn good item if you ask me.
Yeah, SF will get there eventually because the dam. He knows about the dam, so he knows he's got to come back here. Very, very likely.
Mhm.
Otherwise, I would have been concerned that he probably never picks that up.
Doesn't look like we're getting too much out of the backup pod here for SAF, though.
Hopefully, nope. We're going north.
This is really... Oh, we got a fire source. Oh, no.
All right.
SAF could have had that for a while.
Yeah.
Has he been locked out of too much without a fire source, though?
No,
I guess not really, actually, at this point.
It would have told you a lot about, okay, where could my Moon Pearl possibly be?
Yes, that is true. That would have been very good information for knowing where his pearl is. Ironically, it also would have been maybe something to tempt him back to GT, where his pearl is, if he thought about maybe sequence breaking the right side.
Man, I don't know how feasible sequence breaking right side is when you don't have boots or hookshot. It's doable, but
It's
I think
really
you
tight.
need to, on top of obviously getting all the normal stuff, which is difficult enough, you have to also time the spike correctly.
Yes. It's definitely pretty merciless.
So with this lamp, by the way, GW is going to be able to check something that SA didn't here in Howell Castle, and that's Dark Cross.
Yeah, not because SAF didn't try. I think he just unfortunately got a little lost in that dark room, which is understandable. You're kind of not super familiar with checking that in the dark. It'd be easy to get lost because there's a lot of roaming enemies, kind of knock you out of your way and make you lose
Yeah.
where you are.
It's definitely the enemies that become an issue in that room, because if you know the dark room, you know the chest is actually lined up nicely with the torch. I don't know how you do. You do something crazy that looks really seems to work perfectly, and I don't know how you do it. But
my personal secret with it is that when I'm moving to the right, and this only really works with some sort of visual, if you're moving to the right, the camera stops scrolling when the chest is in the middle of the screen.
Oh.
So you just go as far right as to when you are no longer directly in the middle of the screen, and then you go back to the middle of the screen and open the chest.
Interesting.
That is the way I do it.
Now I know. I was gonna say I just line up with the top, like at the bottom of the top right torch, and that lines me up perfectly against the So I
For
would
a diagonal
just,
motion.
Yeah, or just like walk left and you walk into the chest, and then you can just go down left and
Right.
make it easy.
We're referring to how to access the dark cross chest in the dark.
We're filling time, man. We're filling
Yeah.
time.
I'm just waiting to see what's in that chest, man.
SAF gonna give us something that GW wasn't able to check, and that is the second chest of Castle Tower.
Looking like SAF didn't miss much in Dark Cross, so
Nope.
That's good for.
Now, one way to do, if you're just going to the chest here in the Dark Maze here in Aga Tower, I actually prefer not having the sword out at all, because then it just, you hold down left for like a second and a half, you transition to up left, you transition to down left, you transition to up left, and you're right at the chest.
The nice thing about the sword is that it gets rid of the bat that's in your way on your way down. But yeah, it's definitely, I think, probably a little maybe faster, even if you're taking the knockback hit from the bat,
Yeah.
because you're not having to like release a spin attack or spend time swinging your sword.
All right, so GW is going to save oodles of time here, I'm sure, by checking this without the Master Sword in hand.
Oh yeah, that's a good thing to leave behind. Now we don't have to worry about lag frames in 2 more shields.
So then, where's our cape? We're clearly it's the cape that gets us our bow, right? And not that shield plus whatever our other 2 shields are.
So, okay, GW actually not going to be making his way over to the top of East Mountain.
We're heading into Eastern.
Oh, that's right. He still had Eastern. Okay, I understand this then.
I'm
I
disappointed.
thought he was heading back to some kind of connector, but
Still disappointed.
yeah, definitely made a lot of sense to clear the rest of the mountain, considering you already have the bow, like looking for that big key. But it would be kind of a little concerning to leave it behind. It's like 4 items in logic now with that lamp.
Yeah, I guess. All right.
I know you have very strong feelings about this wall kicks, but I think it's probably smart to go in now.
Fine, I'll relent here. If the Eastern Big Key though is in Hype Cave, you gotta give me the win here.
Yeah, I'll give you some credit then.
Okay, cool. SAF heading now to the castle. We'll see kind of the connectors. Hopefully he doesn't like immediately check this and jump down. But we'll also be able to check the Aga Tower entrance.
What do we got here?
Tower of Hera. No. Okay.
Oh, I mean, you would use that in bingo. Talk to the hamburger helper hand. But this is not bingo, so unfortunately, that's another thing that's not really going to help SAF much at all.
For anyone who has ever played Crosskeys Bingo, you know what that cave is and what it means to you.
Like, is gonna find out that this is something he doesn't need either, and then
Yep.
very interested to see where he goes from here, though. He really does not have much left. I think maybe he's got Zora's Domain. He's got those flippers, and I don't think we've seen him use them. But
Right.
he also probably knows that those flippers are out of logic anyway, which is why he's put them off for us. But if
I
you're
don't
like,
know. I'm admittedly like I don't know Swedish Arc, SAF's Crosskeys logic knowledge.
Mhm.
So to him, he might think that the bow is in logic and thus those flippers are in logic, but I'm not sure. It looks like he's heading over to where the uncle is, as well as Cackwell is.
oh yeah, because he still hadn't been up here yet either, right?
Mhm.
here.
Oh yeah, he's got the glove, so
Yeah.
it makes sense just to drop down at this point instead of just walking in, because that could have been the well in his eyes.
And this might actually route into his Zora check after the well.
Yeah, I think so. He'll probably end up
Potentially,
taking
anyway.
this to Axrod Cave, pick up his Ice Big Key, and then yeah, probably head over to the Zora area. So I like this routing. I mean, it's unfortunately like not paying off because we know where the Moon Pearl is.
Yeah,
But,
it's the product of last locationing, but it's at least a pretty solid route to pick off what you have remaining.
Yeah. Now GGW's turn to kind of go on some of this connector frenzy here.
Well, it's gonna get stopped pretty quickly here.
He'll get stopped quickly here, and then he'll walk back into Hyrule Castle, check the other one, and find TR Bridge, and start it all over again.
Yep. Immediate turnaround. Looking like wall cake when he finds Eastern Palace right there.
I would appreciate it if Chad would explain the rule of fire.
Rule of fire is something you are quite well familiar with. Isn't that right, wall kicks?
I've never heard of it before in my life. Do I need someone to explain it to me? Okay, SAF is heading in this direction. I don't know.
This might be heading over. Oh, he hasn't done this yet either. Okay.
Oh wow.
Did he end up doing the entire south route after Thieves Town? Because I know he turned around after the glove to go into Thieves Town. I don't remember if he just save and quit out of Thieves Town and didn't ever go over to Ice Rod Cave. That might be what this is.
I don't think he ever did. So I don't even think he saw Mimic Cave at Mini Moldrum Cave. Because he doesn't have Hera Big marked on his tracker.
Yeah, I think also Jay Coper is right. GGW did not go into Chomps there.
No.
But where was
Chomps
that?
is
That
a bad
was.
check.
He might just be waiting for a better way to take out the Pokey, but with Silvers, I think he's got that already.
Yeah, I mean he has Ether as well. Like it would not be hard.
Oh
at
yeah,
all
Ether
to
and
just-
Hammer as well.
Mhm.
That's a great point. Where are we going? Oh, we came from the right side.
Yeah. There's his Hera Big. This will lead him to Bumper Cave, I believe. Yeah.
Where we'll mirror and find another connector.
But he'll
It's
have
actually
seen
the one.
the other
yeah,
end
he's
of
seen
this.
the other end.
So
But it is a nice place to be put back at with your glove now in hand.
I
Drop
mean,
down.
if you're dropping down though, like that's it for this route.
Yeah.
Alright, well, we're dropping down.
Oh. Being bodied by the bird.
Little unfortunate because we know the other end of desert that he didn't check was Meyer.
Oh, hello, Sahasrahla
But
though.
we got Sahasrahla.
Got a green pendant in Tower of Hera. Lovely.
Gross.
And I missed what we just picked up on Hobo there.
We got a big key to Turtle Rock.
But we got a sword and a big key to GT in the back of Saha's hut.
Alright.
Also pretty lucrative. I think what is... So actually, I don't think I've paid close enough attention to know what's in GT entrance. But I think it's between Lost Woods and Useless Fairy, I want to say.
Yeah, those are the two that I have marked. That I have as I'm not sure which one is which.
This looks like SAF going to be going over to check Ice Shroud Cave area into Zora. And GW also probably making his way over towards Zora, just through the North Dark Hole and Path. GGW, I believe, did do the bottom DM entrance. I believe that was our Hyrule Castle access.
He popped
Correct?
out. Are you talking Southwest South Mountain Foothill Cave?
I'm talking like behind, like, Light World from the dam.
He walked. There was a connector that took him out there.
Yeah. Like, I'm pretty sure that was Hyrule Castle, and that's what started his whole connector adventure.
Gotcha.
Not a lot in Ice Shroud Cave area, which I think actually GGW didn't fully complete when he was over there. I think he got spit out by a connector there without a glove.
Yeah, he didn't have the glove the first time. GW is going to attempt to kern jump here.
Oh, very nice. Accidentally killing the Hinoc.
Very nice getting a full magic for that, too.
Third time's low. And we're going to have these two converging a bit. Oh, wow. That's been there for a while. At least for SAF. That's going to be what takes him back to his pearl.
That's definitely what he needed for sure.
Little late for it to really not be a last location anyway, but it's definitely going to be nice to be able to combo that with Room. And if you get something out of there, that might... Oh, wow, the mitts,
There's a mitts, too. Oh, my goodness.
Very loaded Zora area. I wonder if GGW is going to attempt Flash.
He might. I suspect we're going to see an attempt here. Although he hasn't done... He might go do Dark Shopping Mall and fake Flipper from there.
Right, that makes a lot of sense, actually. Not much on Zora, though.
Okay, well,
SAF
GW is making me a liar.
Not quite gonna get it.
I think the issues are using silvers.
If we place a Samaria block and also switch to regular arrows, that might make it a beat. But it also just might be he needs to reset his Ancilla by dumping a few bombs. Yeah. I
don't know if silvers are any worse than regular ones. I feel like they come out slower. Or they move overall slower just because they add natural lag.
That's really rough. So GGW is going to end up orphaning his Fire Rod here.
I mean, the thing is, he's probably also not going to get the mitts here, too. So he's going to have incentive to come back here once he gets the flippers.
That's true. He's definitely got a big out there in the form of the mitts. Well, it's really kind of depressing for SAF just how unlucky he's been compared to how lucky GGW's kind of been so far. It's like I wouldn't really say GGW's made a whole lot of like misroutes either intentionally or otherwise, but even this one where it's like it looks like there's something that might trip him up a little bit. No, there's just the mitts right next door. He's gonna come back for those.
We're gonna try these mitts. He did switch to regular arrows.
Oh, he's got it. Okay. All right. So he might end up orphaning his Fire Rod anyway.
I was say,
Scratch that.
Now the Fire Rod becomes a little concerning.
Yeah, meanwhile, SAF finding Spiral Cave, I believe at the ferry entrance, the Generosity Ferry entrance in the middle of Lake Hylia.
I think it was Ice Palace because he was a bunny.
Ah, okay. That led... Oh, we just taking it back.
SAF with the big key and at least a small key in his hand, he's going to be able to actually clear out Turtle Rock from here. Minus the big chest because we just haven't seen that entrance yet.
Yeah, maybe not thinking about the fact that he can kill Trinex right now. Because if he did, it would take him right back to the front here anyway.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
But maybe he's just looking to try to fish out a sword since they're right next to each other anyway.
I was gonna say, I mean, it's not too bad. GGW though is going exactly where he needs to go to.
Maybe we're gonna finally see what's in the back of Hype Cave here.
Something we've known about for a long time. He'll also be able to pick up his tempered and Thieves Town Big, which we know we're up on top of. Or no, he's had. Where was the Thieves Big?
Thieves Big was in Blind's Hut, which is
Up here. He just hasn't been here yet.
Yeah.
Period. Okay.
And he is actually going to be able to open up Turtle Rock as well with those myths. Out
Oh,
of
yeah.
logic as they are.
As I say, yeah, it's not gonna be a logic from, but yeah, that is very true.
Not seeing anything behind the fire rod in the front of Turtle Rock, but bet we're gonna see him fight trying to. So that might end up yielding something important. Oh,
GW, lucky that he had one bomb.
oh gosh. I didn't even realize.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
He might run into some trouble in Blind's Hut for that reason, actually. I don't
Right?
think there were any bombs there, but the
I'm
Thieves'
not
Big Key
sure.
was in the front.
Yes.
So, and I don't think there was anything back. So it'll just be a little anxiety he'll have to have sit in the back of his mind and nothing else.
We did not see anything of significant value in Hype Cave, just an Ice Palace small key. But that does give us access to both keys and the big key. Something SAF, should he find Ice Palace, would be able to do. Actually, we know where Ice Palace is. Haha.
Yeah, that was pretty early, if I remember
That's
correctly.
South Kakariko, yeah.
What do we got sitting here in Turtle Rock? Still missing a few dungeons.
Yeah,
But
what
none of them
dungeons are we missing? Like, we haven't seen Hera.
Hera in the back of Skullwoods, it would
Back of
seem.
Skull, yeah.
Everything else is. We are kind of running out of entrances between both runners at this point. We're not down to much aside from, I want to say, Hammer Pegs, back of Skullwoods, and every, or nearly every, Boots Lock entrance.
A couple of other
Oh,
things
yeah.
in my area, too.
GGW finding a very convenient shop location in the front of TR.
He did. Probably the best thing he could have found.
His Thieves' Big Keys. That's probably going to put Thieves Town on his radar, even without the small key.
So one thing to consider, like, yes, SAF is essentially last locating his Moon Pearl, but like he's got 2 crystals done at this point because he's finished Thieves and he's gonna get TR. Funny enough, he's gonna get both 5/6 crystals. Not necessarily in logic. I say that, but we gotta survive this fight. Not free.
Oh man, that was
Man are
a
moving.
little
Okay.
too close.
Alright, we're fine.
W going to be going for these base GDM. And did SAF do these before? I think, no, he mirrored
No,
and
we
went over
haven't,
the other side of the
we
map,
haven't
right?
seen
We haven't
these.
these. And this is actually Skullwoods.
GW can sequence break this.
Lucky for him, he's got that lamp.
Got that
in the
lamp.
dam. He missed his fire out a little while ago.
Yep. Looks like SAF is going to be doing kind of the similar thing. I don't think... Well, no, SAF probably has a Skullwoods mode, so SAF will probably be doing this as well. Well, they'll have to take a death beforehand. Alright, so this will be interesting. Like, you know, we've talked about how GW's routing has helped, but, you know, assuming this is a crystal, the crystal count will be 3-1 in favor of SAF. But I think after this for SAF, he's got, I think, GT is the play, which, assuming he does Tower Room, will get him his Moon Pearl.
Yeah. Fortunately for him, he's finally got that fire out to sort of pull him back there.
And I wonder with, 3 keys that we know of for GT, that maybe Ice Armless is like looking like something of value. You could have the hook shot. Uncommon to see the hook shot on right side GT or at Ice Armless to give you access to left side GT.
And it may be something we don't want to think about right now, or maybe our runners don't think about right now. But with that big key as well being fully in line, all those small keys also means there might be something at the very top of GT.
Oh yeah, that's
Which, when you don't have the hook shot, I mean, even if you can mold arm bounce, it's still not something you want to really think about, because bouncing means giving up checking the very last chest at the top.
Yeah, and if our suspicions are that it's, say, useless fairy at the imagine doing Agate 2 and then you're like, oh no, it's just useless fairy on the drop down and you mold arm bounced.
Behind Agate 2, we've got Magic Bat today.
No, Magic Bat's behind Agate 1.
Or sorry, Agate 2.
Agate 2, we're down to useless fairy or Lost Woods. I don't think I'm sure we could have backed up and figured it out, but I forgot.
Yeah, I wasn't paying close enough attention on either side to see every single one of our drop downs so far. Even though I'm pretty sure we have seen everything but Agate 2 between both of them.
Yeah, we definitely have.
Looks like GW might be making that play over to Thieves Town now. No small key, but it is 3 items and a crystal, so decent attractive play. When you're
it looks
down
like
to
SF is beelining to GT right now.
It's gonna be very unfortunately late Moon Pearl for him, but it's better he gets this at least now than putting it off for even longer.
Yeah, and I mean, he's been doing stuff. Like, he has 3 crystals.
Yeah. Like, really, all the Pearl has done against him is make his route a little bit more inefficient. He's got a lot of catching up to do on Dark World. But he's actually ahead of GGW in some other aspects, so it's not like it's a completely washed race, even despite the very large differential in times between getting their Moon Pearl.
I'm very curious to know what our other pendants are going to be at this point. We know Hera is one of them. And then we're down to what? Eastern Desert, Pod, Swamp, Ice and Mire as our other 2. We can full clear Ice Palace, or at least SAF can. I'm actually a little surprised SAF hasn't thought of Ice Palace.
I'm a little surprised we haven't seen either of the boots or the fire rod yet.
Well, we've seen the fire rod.
Or sorry, not boots or hook shot. I don't know why I said fire rod. Because we've had the equipment for Mire for
right. Mire's been
an entire hour.
Yeah, Mire's been very suspicious. I agree.
Like, sometimes it's just coincidence,
Yeah.
Sometimes you get like entire Mire package in the first 15 minutes and you just go mode it.
I mean, the game does have to put those, the keys somewhere.
Yeah. Why not put them all within 5 minutes of your house?
Alright, so we are going to see full right here, which is... I still think this might be part of our answer. Is the Ice Armless area.
I would not be surprised seeing either the hook shot or the...
The thing is, he doesn't have the GT big key. That's something that GGW has. And so, if the answer is just the big chest, then that's just going to be another major problem for SAF.
Yeah. Be especially unfortunate considering he just got rid of the major problem he was having. absolutely certain. Don't mess. These beetles can definitely get your way.
GW has to be careful. He has no safeties.
Looks like he got. Oh, okay.
GW's
Oh,
fight
mine
got
is gonna be
very
tricky.
off script right there.
Yeah. Oh, hey, look at that. That's one of our shields we're looking for.
Okay.
One more.
We are one shield away
And the
from
bow is in
putting
logic.
our bow into logic.
Not that it matters since we found the other bow in an in logic location.
Oh, that's yeah. Oh, yeah. Dang it.
Yeah, our flippers are for better or for worse. When does GGW finally make that pod play?
I don't know.
He's got a couple of keys now for it. Should
Yeah, I was
make
gonna
it
say,
a
you
little
gotta
more
imagine
attractive.
he's- Nice GT small key.
Oh, and there's our hook shot. So
All right.
we're gonna be heading over to the left side, and well, we don't really have the option for SAF.
I completely forgot there was a big key there. Just straight
Honestly, so did I.
up. GGW just heading to the Aga Tower entrance. I'm not a fan of this.
Yeah, this is a long way to go for one entrance. I feel like at this point, with 3 pod small keys, you probably just want to assume that maybe your 4th one's out there to put the back and lock. Go for it.
Yeah.
As far as I know, I think GGW's only done 3 checks, right?
Yeah,
He never went down
he went
both
in there
sides.
just with the one key and
Long way to walk for not very.
yeah,
course.
a little bit of a rough one. Have we seen the back of Old Man Save and Quit?
Have. I think GGW walked out of that a little while ago.
That might have been where he popped out at the Death Mountain entrance cave.
Possible. We are gonna see a shovel, though.
To answer chat, flippers are bow locked in pod.
How much longer could GW put off the door? I think with the pearl, he's already made his rounds through the dark. What
Yeah, he doesn't
have
have a
left?
whole lot. I have to imagine this is probably a pod play right here. Maybe you pick up the
Oh.
Smith's Longway. That's a Thieves'
There's
Town
our Thieves' Town small key.
Whew.
Ugh. Neither of our runners wanted to see that. Goodness.
No.
And knowing what we know about these keys, that's... I mean, it might as well be in lock. Everything.
Are we climbing?
Oh, this is a play. Don't try this at home, kids. Go to pod first.
All right, so we're gonna get 3 checks here on GGW side. We did see that before the race, as GGW was, kind of getting his stream ready and loaded. He was practicing his hovering. So are we gonna
Won't do a lot of good without the boots, but...
shut up? Your input there was not appreciated. All right, well, never mind.
I mean,
not-
I imagine he's not climbing without the idea of at least Moldorm bouncing. It's definitely a risk leaving behind that one chest at the top, but I can't imagine you make this play before pod without at least being like, all right, well, I'm only gonna leave behind one thing there.
We do see Myers a pendant. Lol.
It's hilarious.
Crystal
You can
Eyes.
finally access it,
Crystal
might as well,
Pod.
right?
No, Drosy. In fact, Megawatt just destroyed me, so
I am the one performing
I
the
am the one
harassment.
being harassed. Uh, I will take this opportunity, by the way, to say give our runners a follow. ganonsgonewild, GW, Swedish Arctic Fox, SAF, putting on a really good show. Also, you want to give our trackers a follow, Be Liberal and Alkaline Ace, and of course, follow my co-commentator Megawatt, who, despite telling me that you need the boots to hover, is still a good person.
Oh, absolutely. And I would also recommend following my friend Walkix here, despite his erroneous knowledge of what you need in order to hover. He is, I promise, very good at this game and very knowledgeable regardless.
Look, I don't hover, so why would I need to know about the requirements of hovering if I don't hover?
That's a great point. I never thought about it like that.
If I'm just never going to hover, why should I need to be like, oh, what do you need for hover? Oh, I don't know, I don't hover.
Oh, I like that movement strat on the conveyor belt.
I missed it entirely.
He held out a sword charge and was like walking along the left side being pushed forward. Didn't work out very well, but it looks interesting.
That'd be nice.
SAF, meanwhile, one step closer to his silvers shovel being unlocked.
Well, he doesn't even have his silvers yet.
I mean, he's about to, so from the looks of it. Also finally going to be able to work his way back towards the dam. Yeah, he does actually...
I say that, that's kind of where he's headed in this direction. Yeah, it's like he... I like that, like, after he picked up the Moon Pearl, he's like, okay, I know where a Hype Cave is, and I knew the dam is over in this direction. Like, let's kind of clean up some of what I know is around before kind of continuing on.
Finally going to be able to see what's the top. Not very promising. Actually, that is our first bottle, believe it or not. So that might end up being something.
Although I don't think we've seen Sick Kid.
Actually, I think you're right. Yeah, I don't remember seeing Sick Kid. Nothing at the top here.
All right.
And I guess there would have to be nothing in the pyramid. I guess that means that's not even gonna.
Yeah.
Moldorm bounce there. And we are finally getting our pod play though. Gonna get his flippers. Would feel a little bad about climbing GT. Is that a hook shot?
Well, I mean, the flippers in his mind aren't going to do a whole lot aside from just the flippers checks.
Right. It's going to be a few entrances, but
yeah, it'll be, like you said, a little bit before he realizes just how unfortunate his climb was. Looks like he's going to head straight to the back first. You wonder if he's going to open Harmless Hellway.
Find the big key pod in Hookshot Cave here. Probably what GW is long waiting for, fortunately.
Do also find Bombos. So something to note, we have all of our big keys except 2 combined between our runners. So the big key that's on GT Torch is either Eastern or Desert.
Fairly strong chance that's required.
Yes.
Means we'll be seeing boots at some point. W, I believe, being the first one to find both. Might come into play. Our runners are unlucky enough to have something required.
Yep. SAF is just going to take this straight over to kill Hemasaur King. And like that'll be crystal number 4. He knows ice is a crystal, he can full clear it, and that's in Kakariko. He'll be up pretty quickly with 5 crystals, I think.
And we're only missing knowledge on 1 pendant and or 2 crystals. Well, we know that Meyer is a pendant from Lee. Was that when did SAF do a map check, or did he walk into Meyer to see it?
He did a map check.
Okay. So just between Swamp, Desert, and Eastern, we have 1 more.
So we're looking for 2 of Eastern big, Desert big, Swamp small. And honestly, that's it.
Probably the boots. I would
Probably
say
the boots, because we
yeah.
obviously we know one of the two big keys that we're looking for is on that torch.
Could still be not required, but I'd say it's fairly.
All right,
Did
so
GG Whoa, hold on. Did GGW not get his flippers in pod? I don't think he checked both side.
Why would he have not checked both? What?
I don't know, but I saw him walk past the unopened
Yeah, because he
ledge
definitely only
and then save
did.
back.
What are we doing? Well, that is not good at all for GW.
That is terrible for W.
And I'm beginning to think that SAF is developing a pretty substantial lead at this point.
Yeah. I don't know what's up with the pod right side. I imagine he's probably forgotten it, because there's no way that you like make the play all the way over here to Aga Tower for one check.
Right.
We're getting a flute on Helmosaur on SAF side. It's going to be a very easy way to get back to Mire.
It's also very convenient considering we're here in Kakariko.
Gonna add that and make the ice. I imagine Ice Point is gonna come up with something new, either one of our big keys or maybe the boots.
I'm thinking either Swamp Smaller Boots.
Yeah, Swamp's probably the biggest. But we've also got the entirety of Mire, which neither runner has touched yet.
Right. GGW obviously can't do that at the moment. I suspect we're about to get a Smith play here from GGW.
Which is not something you want to see in this seed.
No. I mean,
Well,
this is the one
It's gonna
time
be made
that
easier
our
by
old
the
man
save and quit point. But it's still rough. Although I
Yeah.
don't think we've actually seen this entrance here, Hammerpeg.
Have not. And we have not seen Tower of Hera yet either. So definitely could be something here too. I've paid no attention to our item caves to know what we have and don't have at this point. I feel like we have seen most of them. Here is one we haven't seen though.
And SAF also starting his foray into Ice Palace at the same. Not a lot out of Mire Shed. Honestly, not surprising. Have the an entirety of Ice Palace.
Yeah, all of Ice, all of Mire at our
Very
disposal.
surprised if basically anything of value showed up outside spots at the point. W fully aware of how much easier the save and quit is going to make his life on the Smith check. The only thing that would be worse than watching him skip his flippers in right side pod would be watching him do it and then walk all the way from west to east to turn in the Smiths.
Yeah. Alright, there's a pod key in Ice Palace. That is pod number 4, I think, total.
Quake actually going to be relevant for the Mire entry.
Yeah.
Tower of Hera, but I believe that's the only dungeon.
So that's the only thing that it does for us. GW, we're playing, we're kind of doing the pausing motion, which is concerning. Like, take a step, you pause. Take a few more steps, you pause again. We're unsure on GGW side.
Yeah.
He's heading down. I wonder if he just realized that he has boat lock pod. Nope.
He's definitely thinking about what to do.
Yep.
Big key to desert. Okay, so that guarantees what big key is sitting on the torch in GT then.
Yep.
That is our eastern big key.
Now, one thing to note, Swedish Arctic Fox, if desert is a crystal, needs the desert small key.
That is a great point, and I forgot about it. So that might cause him some problems. I doubt it's going to be be enough problem at this point if GGW continues to forget about Pod. But it might cause some issues for him. W back.
To get our map to Skullwoods, I don't think we've seen an attempted Light World map check yet from either runner. I admittedly have not paid attention to see it to know whether or not we've picked up either the Eastern or Desert map, but something to consider. GW is going for chain chomps.
Not really sure why he opted to skip this earlier.
I don't know either.
Maybe just didn't want to bother with the pokies, but I think he had several reasonable ways to kill them at that point earlier.
Yeah.
Just, I guess, decided there wasn't time. But paying for it now, having to run all the way back here just to check.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, the lead is only getting bigger on SAF's side.
Welcome everyone from Fear Agent stream. This is round 1 of the Swiss tournament in the 2022 Crosskeys Tournament. The race is between ganonsgonewild GW and Swedish Arctic Fox, who we have been referring to as SAF. Basically, we've been using acronyms this entire time. So far, our seed has basically played out. GGW got an early Moon Pearl, which kind of gave him an early advantage in terms of just overall routing and efficiency. But at this point, GW is... I don't know if we think that he's forgotten about the Bowlock side of pod, but he needs to go to the Bowlock side of pod to get his flippers, which will give him access to the Waterfall Ferry entrance, which is where the Fire Rod is, which lets him do right side GT where the hook shot is. So, GW is kind of a little stuck at this point. Meanwhile, SAF picking up crystal number 5 already.
And the powder along with it, too.
And the powder, yeah, so...
Although
that powder...
I honestly don't think it's a cause for concern anymore.
Yeah, considering,
we know where Eastern Big
T
is.
Yeah, the boots
and
gets
our
us...
boots can't be there.
Yeah.
So only thing I think that could be there at this point that would be relevant is the swamps. And that's it.
Right.
And that's not even important if it's a pen.
Yeah. GGW is going to attempt this right side bomb jump. Without boots, without hookshot, you need some RNG. I don't say RNG on your side, but
you need the spike to be kind.
Yes. You've got to be able to time your bomb jump in a way that you don't hit the spike.
And meanwhile, nothing in the Mire entrance over on SAF's side, so I think it's safe to say at this point, Hera's probably boots lock.
I would believe so.
And I'm probably also going to say that the boots are most likely in Mire, because if you could kindly remind us as to what the rule of Mire is, wall kicks.
One of your access points to Mire lock the other. There we go. Haha. Basically, the prevailing thought is, if you have hookshot to get into Mire, maybe your boots are there. If you have boots to get into Mire, maybe your hook. Did I say? I don't know. The point is, one would lead to the other, similar to that something rule of fire or something.
Of course, that nobody knows about. Who's ever heard of that before?
Never.
I'm in a little trouble getting set up on the side. More than a little trouble. That's gonna reset all of his time.
That was a weird grab right there.
I believe is gonna be going over here for the first check.
Yep, we have nothing left. I don't think. Yeah, I mean, because SAF was late to the Moon Pearl, like, he hasn't actually seen Mire in the Village of Outcasts area.
Oh, that's right, yeah. He actually hasn't been through, like, picked up everything entrance-wise there yet.
Right.
He's just had a lot to do since finding the Pearl, honestly.
Yeah, I mean...
He managed to find so much without it,
mm-hmm.
that once he found it, he really didn't have a whole lot. Like, he wasn't really hard-pressed to go exploring the Dark World.
Right. GW is looking like he's going to do Purple Chest, like... He knows this isn't the answer. as evidenced by the fact that he just stopped. Because our mitts are flippers locked, by the way.
What is he doing?
He's just unsure. To answer chat, Fire Rod is at the entrance at Waterfall Ferry. Our flippers are bow locked in pod, and our hook shot is behind Ice Armos. So the point is GW has to remember that he hasn't done bow lock pod.
And at this point, it may already be too late.
Yeah,
Sad to say for GGW's sake. Because SAF is definitely tearing away with the lead right now.
Mm-hmm.
Although actually he is going to be able to check one entrance here that I forgot about. Though I think the last entrance we have that isn't boots locked, back is Woods. Finally able to check now that we have a fire rod.
Oh yeah, I think you're correct.
Oh, and that's
I thought we've seen this already.
pretty dense item cave here in Mini Moldorm. 5 item, maybe containing boots and or the Swamp Small Key. But we've also still got the entirety
Very
of Mire on the
reasonable.
table. So
That's SAF's first bottle, by the way.
you love to see that value.
Still have not seen Sick Kid though. Are we gonna get a pet check? We're getting
Seemed
a pet
like
check.
it.
Lol.
Logically required.
That is a that's a silly small key.
Fortunately, we're not going to be seeing either of our runners bullpen.
No.
Not that I think they really had much of a choice.
I think where's GGW off to?
We found Hera and still don't even know what our third
GW heading over to the Mire area.
be that.
So I don't know if he's seen the checkerboard cave entrance. In case you were wondering how nasty of a connector chain this can be. GW is heading over to the Mire area.
Yeah. Which is a long sequence of Hyrule Castle and the Desert Palace. And then some other stuff attached to get distracted by out the other exit as well.
On top of needing to get to Hyrule Castle on the mountain in the first place.
Without a flute. So, very lovely.
It's a swamp
SAF.
big
I really think
for
his swamp.
SAF. So this route will inevitably lead SAF over to Mire, I'm assuming, and I imagine he's going to go in and probably full clear at this point.
Not really a lot left, yes. But I'm also not entirely sure how much of the Dark Overworld. I think he may have gone south at some point.
Well, Curiosity Shop was a connector. Although I don't know if he's ever actually walked through the top of Paradox.
Oh, that's true, yeah. He may not even check that at the point. W not getting a lot for his. Has he been? I'm pretty sure he's been here before. Maybe just. Was he just back here for checkerboard and is checking to make sure he didn't mistrack anything? Could be.
That's kind of what I'm thinking, yeah.
I think he's at the point where he's 100% sure he's made some mistake. It's never easy to figure out exactly what when you find yourself in this situation.
Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, Swedish Arctic Fox going to Saha. I forgot what we had at Saha. We had the GT Big Key. That's right.
And his tempered sword there as well.
Yep.
Finally going to be sitting on a very nice weapon. Very nice to get off the sword. GT Climb, not actually the biggest item density right now. Especially because he's going to find Mire before he foot back into GT. This room. That is only
that GT Big Chest
Village of
is
Outcast.
probably not feeling too great for him.
Yeah. Ironically, that's probably one thing that might put GGW back in this. Assuming he gets his flippers anytime in the next, immediately, you know? It's kind of a stretch, but if he has any chance at all, like at all, then it's something the GT Big Chest. Swamp Small or Boots. Well, it looks like SAF is going to be making his way over towards Village of Outcast. He's going to be finding Mire in very short order here.
Well, this would be the time to say that, unfortunately, GGW did take a DNF, and it appears he has cut stream. So unfortunate on GGW side. So for SAF, he'll just need to finish out the seed in order to go up 1-0, or in order to go 1-0. So GG's for GGW. Just an unfortunate skip, not realizing that had the ability to do Bowlock Pod. Oh, that's a big bomb. Don't grab it yet. Don't
do it.
Okay.
We can't commit to this. Not right now.
Yeah,
we're so close to Mire.
So like we haven't done like Stumpy Dig game. So I guess we have to do it now. We grabbed it.
Committed. We spent 100 rupees out of 1,500.
15.
No going back.
Have to check it now. Yeah, for those wondering, GW skip Bowlock Pod, and then just never put the pieces back together and realize that's what he missed. One of the unfortunate things about that was he was not able to get the Ancilla Fake Flipper over to the Waterfall Ferry entrance, which would have given him his Fire Rod, which would have at least, kept him going. And, ending Swamp Palace being a pendant, that might be all we would, explicitly need flippers for. So, it's very unfortunate, but it's kind of how the seed played out.
Yeah. Kind of unlucky that not only did he fail to get the Ancilla the splash delete over by the Waterfall Cave, but also got rid of his only out by succeeding on the splash delete to get the Myths on Zora ledge.
Yeah. We did find Sick Kid, by the way. Hiding in the pyramid.
Now we're going to be going back to Village of Outcast. Imagine. For the remainder of the entrance. We have to check. And I think it's just a straight shot at this. Like, you go into Mire, find your Swamp Small and or your Boots, and it's straight line.
Yeah, I think the end of the seed is just kind of insight for Swedish Arctic Fox.
Now for SAF, also going to need that Desert Small Key potential as well.
Oh my god, we gotta find the Desert Small Key.
You can't clear any of those dungeons right now. And you're still gonna
my god. So for SAF side, he wants Desert to be the pendant.
Well, I don't think it particularly matters. Just because, you need 2 items anyway.
Well, I mean, for his own personal,
Right.
If he's thinking to himself, okay, if I have a chance at this, I don't want it to be desert because
yeah,
then I got to search out this small key. I don't know if he's keeps the race room open and has seen that GDW has since forfeited, but yeah. So Meyer.
Let's see what is in here. Nothing.
Just kidding. Not yet. And we had all the keys in the first 15 minutes too.
And here we are, an hour and 48 in, and all we've seen is the front door. We have to go back though. You know that what you're missing is items.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Hera's on your mind at this point, but I think you definitely take the dip in the mire here. Take the 8 items that are right in front of you.
Yeah.
So the flips didn't lock anything that couldn't be sequence broken, but GGW was unable to sequence break the fire rod out of the waterfall cave entrance.
Yeah, did attempt a few Ancelas, was unable to get it, and then, as Megawatt was saying earlier, he went up to do Zora Ledge, saw that it was mitts, and actually successfully got the mitts, which kind of meant he was never going back there.
Until he found the flippers, which he never found, because of a very unfortunate skip. That definitely did not seem intentional. Like, there's no way you intentionally skipped.
No.
That's just a very unfortunate thing to have forgotten to check.
Right. So for SAF now, we are in Mire. We have both speculated that left side Firelocked Mire has something. And we're going to be holding on to that for a little bit longer because, dang it.
Oh, there's our last Turtle Rock small key. Actually, no, that's not our last one. I'm thinking GT small keys. That's our second Turtle Rock small. Still got a couple more of those before we can finally stop getting baited and get our actual swamps. I wouldn't say so soon that he's not going to full clear Mire. I think...
Yeah, I think overall he doesn't have a whole lot left, aside from Smith Chain and some single item checks.
I'd say if you find the Swamp small key, then maybe you duck out before Vidi, because Swamp is just a mirror and 10 seconds away, and you can just come back. But if you don't find the Swamp small key, I think you're going for victory. At least I wouldn't think that Desert Small or East Big would be enough to pull me away. Because you are still missing one more item after that. But at the same time, I would be very surprised if Swamp Small was our go mode in this situation.
The boots.
Righty. So finally having the boots in hand, that's going to give us access to the rest of our entrances and therefore also Tower of Hera.
Yes. As well as our Eastern Big Key. So
that's true, yeah. Almost forgot about that again, if you can believe it.
I was about to say no matter what, Swedish Arctic Fox is Swamp Small for Go mode, but in the event that we need that Desert Small Key,
oh gosh,
we still need that Desert Small Key.
So this might be enough incentive, though, to leave Mire behind for now. Especially if you realize, you absolutely have access to Tower of Hera.
Yeah, I agree.
And with it being a green pendant as well, it's even sweeter.
It's a solid 7 items right there.
Looks like SAF might be planning to do Vidi anyway here, though. Yeah.
Okay.
Taking the long way to get to the bridge chest there, just so he can do it on his way to the boss.
Look, we need to logically be able to kill Mothula. Go pick up that small key off of Ped. Alright, so if we're in basically 2-key mode, if you're Swedish Arctic Fox, when you go pick up the Eastern Big from GT, do you also say to yourself, there's never a better time to go to GT Big Chest than right now?
If I haven't seen that my opponent has forfeited, then I would say that maybe there is a better time.
Reasonable.
Because like GT itself is not in a terrible location. It's just,
No.
I want to say it's South Kakariko, right?
Yeah, and we're
Very
literally
easy
in
to get
Mire.
back to. But if you already have seen that your opponent forfeit and you're trying to finish up, then that would be the more efficient play to make. You're no longer worried about how fast.
Mm-hmm.
But
And
at the same
chat,
time,
GGW skipped or did not remember that he did not do the Bolok side of pod, which had his flippers, which led to the fire out at the waterfall ferry entrance, which gave us access to right side GT for the hook shot.
very unfortunate sequence that happened
Yeah.
to GW.
Yeah.
Now we got boots. Looks like we're going to be mirroring and grabbing our Eastern Big Key on SAF side.
Yep.
Probably heading straight to Eastern as well, since he's got the fluid very easy there. Before we head and start checking.
Alright, big key to Eastern in hand. He does now have every big key in the game. And I think in terms of small keys, we're missing. Oh
and
my
that-
god, he's getting bailed out with a pendant
Oh
desert.
my gosh.
Well, he now just needs a swamp small key.
So he's in really good shape.
Yeah.
Not having to hunt for that desert spell is very fortunate for him. Because now it's basically just clear Eastern, and then go to Bhutan,
Yeah.
and
So-
then you're basic.
yeah.
you'll find
Essentially
Hera.
search out Hera. Yeah.
I think he might still have a little bit more of the Dark World to check out.
He
Remember
does.
correctly,
Like
but-
he hasn't done Dig Game, he hasn't done Stumpy.
Mm-hmm.
So there are still some sporadic things that he can do along the way, but I mean,
still
some
think
of those will route in nicely with like the boots checks.
Oh yeah. Probably still wanna, at least the way I would do it, I'd probably start with the Light World. Because I want to put a little more emphasis for entrances, because we've got 7 items hanging on in one of those. So I'm
Yeah.
good.
Absolutely.
And then start routing the South Dark World with those Bonk Rocks down the house.
I mean, alternatively, the swamp small could just be like here in the big chest.
Yeah, in the ideal case, we just don't have to worry about anything.
Do get our 4th sword. Holy sword of butter.
See a very quick and easy armor fight here. Silver arrow. And maybe maybe.
Maybe?
Oh,
Aw.
unfortunate. Guess we have to keep looking.
Almost.
So I'm almost 100% certain we're just going to take off towards our boots locked in
Yeah.
and start looking for Hera. Or, oh no, he hasn't. Has he done the base of DDM?
Yeah, because that's where Skullwood was.
Oh, that's right. But I guess he hasn't done Turtle Rock entrance proper. So
Yeah,
this might
it
be
was
him, like-
weird. He was here earlier with the ability to do it, and like he went into the portal on top of Turtle Rock, but didn't open it.
might have just slipped it, I guess. Realizing now he's in a, like, he may as well do it while he's here, I guess. This may. Oh, he might have been short on map. Does out. And we didn't really have the option of refilling our magic because our first bottle didn't come for like an hour and a half. So
Naturally.
quick check the TR entrance. That is the bomb. And then 9 be off.
Okay, so one thing I do have marked that I haven't even thought of is that I have the library marked here on East Death Mountain.
That is
Which-
half mad.
Oh, that's right. Okay, cool.
Nice to have, but
Nice to have, but not something to pick up. I just
this might be
I-
the Myron.
Yeah. I had lib sitting there, and like normally I have that marked if it's like a small key or a big key. But clearly it is not. It was half magic. You were correct. This is Desert Big Chest, I think.
A little surprised we're not immediately hunting down Hera.
Yeah, I am too.
Do have access to every entrance in the game. So we know, and with the exception of GT. I suppose if Hera's in GT, then that would be...
Well, Hera can't be in GT because of the...
Oh, that's right,
Skull
because
Skull
the
was.
skull small on the...
So
But-
Hera has to be accessible somewhere.
But did SAF check pedestal, or was that with just GW?
I think that was just GDW.
Okay, so to him, he might still be thinking that Hera would be...
Right. Although was it? I don't remember anymore whether or not it was SAF who checked.
Left exit might spit us out in the Dark World near some of those boots.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is pretty good then. I like... Maybe pushing off the possibility of finding Hera a little bit, but you're going to pick up an item on the way to
Mhm.
2 of your entrance. This is good. Definitely a very efficient way to go about it.
No. There's a fairy entrance with a small key.
And that's our go mode.
All right. We are in go mode.
Like, we will not be walking Hera in this seed.
Dang it.
Kind of like Meyer, we had those small keys pretty early and just
We did.
never had to set foot in it. Now Meyer, we did eventually have to,
Yeah.
because that had our
but-
boot. But
Alright, so this is shaping up to be a nice time for Swedish Arctic Fox here. Given how late he was to the Moon Pearl, you know, one could have early on reasonably thought that, you know, this wasn't looking good for Swedish Arctic Fox.
mhm.
But
it was
you know,
definitely at a major disadvantage in like the entire first hour of this, because
yeah,
GW got the roll so relatively early, and then there was never anything to incentivize going back to GT for a long time for SAF. So the gap just kept getting bigger and bigger. It seemed like
Yeah.
GW had a very, very strong until he forgot to check side pod.
right. But I mean, even without the Moon Pearls, you know, SAF was still getting dungeons done. I mean, I think he had 3 crystals at around the hour mark.
Yeah,
like-
he wasn't just doing nothing with that though.
Yeah.
He was definitely putting it. fell behind on basically anything that was remotely pro lock, but basically everything else, like he was even up, I think, 1 or 2 crystals when he finally found his Moon Pro.
Yeah.
At like an hour 50.
This also means Swedish Arctic Fox will move to 1-0. GW will drop into the 0-1 pool. Very dangerous 0-1 pool, not gonna lie. There are some strong runners sitting at 0-1.
How biased are you in saying that, Walker?
I'm not a strong runner at all. I don't know what you're talking about.
I disagree. Was it not you who simultaneously placed first and second last year in the Retrance and Crosskeys tourney?
I mean, okay, yes.
Mr. I'm not a threat. But yeah, definitely some big names waiting in the second round of Swiss in the 0-1 pool.
Yeah. And this is kind of the excitement of Swiss in general.
Yeah. Crosskeys even in the first round of Swiss, not without its upsets.
Mm-hmm. We've seen a number of top runners who have unfortunately dropped to 0-1, and some runners who we thought maybe should have been 0-1, like Gamma, ending at 1-0.
Shots fired.
I'm kidding, Gamma.
I'm not.
7 crystals for Swedish Arctic Fox. Ganon today sitting at the Uncle drop down. Be a quick flute over. Gold sword, silvers should be an easy fight. Did we ever find a male upgrade, Megawatt?
We didn't, actually. Not a single one. I guess they were just both in Hera.
Alright.
Because I don't think there's a whole lot else we haven't really done. Like, what do we have left? Thieves Big. The rest of Swamp. Actually, that's probably fairly likely spot.
Yeah, Swamp seems like a likely play for at least one of our male upgrades. Also, our silvers aren't a logic. We can't use them.
Unlucky. I guess we're going to have to take an extra minute or so on this Ganon fight. We're not allowed to use our silvers. How that works. Also true, nobody did pick up half magic. I can understand that with boots played as
with boots as late as they were.
Easy first phases. They have basically all they could ask for male upgrades.
Ganon playing kind with his warps, not really giving him a whole lot, not even moving for this one.
Tempting for the triple setup, not quite getting it right. It's not like SAF is particularly worried right now about his opponent in the game. There we go.
Alright, with that, Swedish Arctic Fox, like I said, moving to 1-0. Nicely done. Well played. GG's in chat. And he will finish officially in first. Time of 2:06.25.
Let's see if we can't get him in for a quick view. Make sure to extend the invitation to W as well in case he also would like to join us. But I would understand if he definitely had a rough go at this race.
Yeah. But yeah, 2:06. Considering some of the times that we've seen this week, not a bad time to put up. This first week has been marred with a number of like really gross times that you would see from top runners. I think collectively we've put up like 5 sub 2s.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. It's like I definitely feel like it's been like well above average for what you would expect like all the results across the entire pool of 180 plus runners to be able to put in. And like meanwhile, we've only had like 5 that have been anywhere close to sub 2.
Yeah, and I mean, even of those that are sub 2, like most of them are almost like a 159, and you're like barely scraping the sub 2 train. It looks like we will be getting Swedish Arctic Fox in here for a chat, so give him another few minutes to pop up. See him in the waiting room.
And we are joined by our winner today, Swedish Arctic Fox. GG's.
Yeah, GG's. Thanks.
So you played the seed honestly pretty nicely, kind of despite the late moon pearl. Kind of what was going through your head when you were kind of playing the seed out and this moon pearl just was not appearing for you?
Yeah, I was hoping it's gonna be behind a lot of the stuff I find, and when I got the cane, I was thinking about going back to GT, but for that one check, I was a bit afraid of losing time just going there. So I was hoping for getting the fire rod or some kind of fire source just to go full right. Hope to get something nice there, and well, I got the hook shot, so at that point I felt really good about the seed.
Yeah, for a long time, it feels like one of the major talking points was you potentially finding some sort of incentive to pull you back to GT for that one check. And for a long time, you just found absolutely nothing. Until you finally made your way over towards the Zora area and got your fire. But that was, at that point, it was quite a while past the point GGW had his pearl. He actually had it relatively early on. I want to say maybe around 25 minutes in.
Sounds about right, yeah.
Decently early.
Yeah,
but you were like
missed out on the hook shot then, or?
Yeah, so what happened to GW is he forgot the Bollock side of pod.
Oh. Yeah.
So he never got his flippers and thus didn't get his fire rod. He actually tried to fake flipper over to that entrance a couple of times. Wasn't successful. But then when he went up into the Zora area, he saw the mitts and was actually successfully fake flippered to mitts. And so getting back to the waterfall area just really wasn't a feasible thing for him. And without those flippers, he wasn't able to get the fire rod, which meant he wasn't getting his hook shot. Because trying to sequence break right side GT when you don't have boots or hook shot is really difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so that kind of played out the rest of the seed.
Yeah,
overall, though, like, you played this very well. I mean, a 206 for this kind of seed, very nice time considering the late boots and everything.
Yeah, it's absolutely one of the better times I had. I'm really happy about it. I'm just sad that he couldn't finish. Would be fun to have seen him go through the whole thing as well. And just that we had different routing would have been fun to see how it would end up.
I'd say it's definitely worth watching the first hour just to kind of see how your divergences played out, because as we were saying, you relate to the pro, but you were also getting stuff done. I think at one point, even before you had the pro, you had a 3-1 crystal lead, so you were still finding the things that you needed to find. It just, the moon pearl was just kind of becoming a bigger and bigger blocking gate for you.
Yeah, I got a lot of keys, so it felt really good. And I was thinking early on to go to the flipper checks, but in Crosskeys you have so much to do, so it's easy to get off track and go somewhere else.
Yeah, and it was, like we said, like it was just a big talking point of how long it was going to take for you to get back to that point. I figured aside from finding an item like the fire rod or the lamp or really just anything to point you back to GT, your best chance would have been maybe finding a connector in Northwest Dark World and just mirroring to check it on your way past.
Yeah.
But
yeah, something else that I was really afraid of, I guess you know this, I stole the desert small key.
Yes.
Yeah, let's talk about that for a moment.
Well, I was going to reset the game after I checked and there was nothing. But then I found the mire area on right side of desert. So I was tempted to go and check all those stuff, and then I'm like, okay, let's go for it. So it was a big gamble, I know that, but yeah, it worked out in the end.
In the end, even if you did need that desert small key, it's not like there was a ton of stuff left for you to look towards. Like you had probably the rest of Swamp. You probably would have continued hunting Boots entrances and found Hera, and then
Yeah.
a couple of really nasty checks in the form of like Thieves Town, Big Chest, maybe on your radar. But
I was thinking
fortunately,
about
none of that was anything to worry about. So
Yeah, I was thinking about GT Climb as well when I got that big key.
Do you know what was behind the GT climb? Mega One, I never actually formally figured it out. Well, no, Magic Bat was behind Aga 1.
Yeah, right.
I'm trying to think what was it was either the fairy drop down or Lost Woods Thief.
Yeah. It would have been one item, I think.
Okay.
I think Lost. And
Yeah.
we weren't sure, and BGW also made a climb towards the end of him sort of running out of in-logic things to do. And I guess I figured maybe he would have gone for a Moldorm Bounce, but he didn't. So that made us think that, oh, well, okay, there's no item up.
Yeah, because the fairy was on where the powder usually is.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Any final thoughts, though? I mean, you're now 1-0, off to a pretty good start in this tournament.
Yeah, it was not expected. He's a really strong runner, so I'm really happy about the win. So it's gonna be fun to go on through, and hopefully I get another fun opponent to face in the next game.
Yeah, is there anyone in particular you're wanting to get matched up with out of the 1-0 pool next week, or maybe anyone you're looking to particularly avoid next week?
I'm hoping I'm not gonna face Gamma.
Gamma is free farm, dude. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, okay.
He won't even know what hit him when you race him, and you just drop a casual sub 2 while he's sitting there at 215 thinking, man, what went wrong in my life?
I'm pretty sure Gamma's never even played Crosskeys before, honestly.
Pretty sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, GG's. Want to thank you again for letting us commentate your race, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, thank you for restreaming it and commentating on it.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Hi, Trez.
Hello,
Hi.
Trez.
It's kind of hard to follow this blatant bullying up. I'm not sure. No, just kidding. That's how we roll here. But yeah, I want to give a warm shout out to everybody involved, including, by the way, Swedish Arctic Fox, you got a new nickname. Because your name was too long for the guys. They just called you SAF.
Hey, look,
the entire
it
time.
was Wallkick's suggestion, so
No. I was the one that's saying, man, we need to come up with a different name. You were the one that said SAF.
I mean, damn it, you're not wrong.
But yeah, shout out to you, Fox, and Alt. You could have also just said Fox, you know? Would have been possible. But, I mean...
True.
And also to Ganon's Gone Wild, even though this time Ganon didn't go wild, but down. That's fine. Yeah, GG's. Also shout out to you, Wally, and to Megabot, and also to Blip and to Alkaline Ace for doing the tracking. That's it for today on ZSR 4. And where do we all send ya? Let's go to ZSR 2 and to the Wind Waker Randomizer qualifiers. Until then, thank you all for watching. Take it easy and see you soon.